All right, we are live. Here we go. We can see things. There we are. All right. Yes, maybe. Yes. Super. All right. Okay. Do you want the microphone, Vere? Okay, sure. So we are live right now. Hopefully, we are live. And so, of course, just as we go live, we are left. So, so we'll see. They'll come back here and we'll get going.
Do you dance?
I do a little bit of a dance.
Well, you could do that if you'd be live.
I think Vere's going to just be off the mic, and so I'll turn the laptop around. Well, we couldn't ask for nicer weather. This is great.
I'm so glad it's not last week.
That's right.
I remember last week.
You do. You remember last week? It was rough.
Doing your gym project.
I remember last week. Yes.
How come you don't remember slipping on the Great Divide 3 months ago? What?
You know, the more I wrote, the more I heard people talk, the more
I think I'll stay up close.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So looks like Vere's ready. I'm ready. It's 11 o'clock, so the clock is ready. So here's getting set up there, and then we'll just do it that way. That sounds perfect. That's right. This is the musical portion of the afternoon. So Vere McCarty started songwriting as a teenager in the 60s in the folk song mode. Has continued off and on, branching out in other forms. He plays guitar and sings at home. Occasionally goes out and sings. The creation of a song is what Vere loves best. Here's Vere.
Thank you. Hey, Jim, I'm going to sing a song that actually Ray Singer and Millie Salt helped me work out. Talk about memories. Yeah. Okay. This is Shemawa. Jim and I taught it at Shemawa. Very enriching experience.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'd like you to sing a call and response with me, okay? And this is nice to be around close like this. I was thinking like I would be way up there and everybody would be way out there, scattered out, pandemic style. And I was thinking, can you hear me? No, this is nice. So I'll sing, again, I'll walk in this house made of dawn. You go, beauty walks before me. Try it. Beauty walks before me. And then I'll sing something. You sing, beauty walks behind me. And then beauty walks below me. Beauty walks above me. And we'll go through it twice, so then we'll pick up some words and maybe we'll be singing pretty much the whole song every time we time. This is called, in translation by the missionaries way back then, this is called Song of the Dawn Boy. It's a Diné or Navajo poem. It's a very long poem. And this is just an interpretation to try to get the gist of the idea. Okay. Again I walk in this house made of dawn. Beauty walks before me. Dreams have been here. I walk on. Beauty walks behind me. I wander like falling from the desert flower. Beauty walks below me. The song of life gives me the power. Beauty walks above me. I am a child of the dawn, lifting my voice to the sun. I walk in beauty, I walk the beautiful trail. Beauty walks all around me. Beauty walks all around me. I am a child of the dawn, lifting my voice to the sun. I walk in beauty, I walk the beautiful trail. Again I walk in this house made of dawn. Beauty walks before me. Dreams have been here. I walk on. Beauty walks behind me. I wander like pollen from the desert flower. Beauty walks below me. The song of life gives me the power. Beauty walks above me. I am a child of the dawn, lifting my voice to the sun. I walk in beauty, I walk the beautiful trail. Beauty walks all around. Beauty walks all around me.
Nice.
Thank you. Good singing. Okay. I just sing a song that the other songs I'm singing are all in one way or another from another poet, from a poet that you probably even know. You know. But this one is me. Okay, this is all me, and it's called "Get Ungone." And "Get Ungone" means get over what's keeping you from living. You know, and come back. Get ungone. I guess you heard I was long gone. Maybe you knew that was dead dog wrong. Now that I'm gone, so I'm gone. You seen me lugging the weight of the world. Lost my soul, lost my girl. Now that I'm gone, but I'm moving on. You could say that I've been saved, moved my soul, moved my grave, but that's all gone. And I'm moving on to the great unknown. I went to see my mama. She said, "Hey, sport, you got to learn to keep these visits short. You got to get along. Just got to do it, son." Mama, how will I know the way? Well, it's hurt by hurt. It's day by day, but you can do it, son. You're gonna be the one to get undone. Yes, you can do it, son. You're gonna be the one to get undone. That's a nice song to kind of just let go, you know, just wail a little bit. Okay, a little out of key, out of tune. I think I'll take a break and find this because coming out in the fresh air probably affects it a little bit. I don't get along with the tuner very well. I think it's good. Okay, let's try that. It's even worse. Okay. And this is just bad.
Should have told me. I wouldn't know what
Oh, good. Crowd noises.
Yeah,
Good.
really.
Okay. Just like the good old days. The guitar's really not tuned, but we sing anyway. Oh, talk a classic poem, "Wandering Angus" by W.B. Yeats, and kind of my take on a tune by the Irish band Blank Steel. So this is the song. I went out to the hazelwood, 'cause the fire was in my head. I cut and peeled a hazel one, cooked a berry to dread. And when white moths were on the wing, and moth-like sparks were a-flickering out, tossed the berry in the stream, caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I'd been to blow the fire aflame. Something rustled on the floor. Someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossoms in her hair. Called me by my name and faded in the bright. Though I am old with wandering in hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone and kiss her lips and hold her hands and walk among long dappled grass and pluck till times are done. The silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. Oh yes, I always feel like I guess I need to apologize for like crashing the poetry group because it's like it's a poetry. Okay, thank you. All right.
If you mention Yeats, you can get away with a lot.
Oh, okay. Okay, in that case, what about Walt Whitman?
Mhm.
You've already mentioned Walt Whitman, so you'll hear Walt Whitman in this piece too. And well, okay, so this is for Juneteenth. Isn't that cool? Juneteenth and 4th of July, Independence Day, and a certain conception of well, Walt Whitman. You'll hear his phrases. Okay, this is his phrases are, I think, will echo to you, Walt Whitman. But you know, the way Walt Whitman joined the war was to work in the hospital, and the boys were coming back. You know, those who came back, so he'd care for them. Right. Leaves of grass, the drum and bugle calling. I rush to join the battle, though death stands on all sides. My spirit cries out, I never will surrender. I hear my order spoken, my captain's voice at last. It leaves of grass. Leaves of grass, bitter tide still rising. The flower of youth return, and lilacs fill my arms. The heroes with no voice, how can I leave you silent? I sing to our reunion when the troubles all have passed. Leaves of grass. Thank you. Nice
So
singing to you.
You put that, you made that song out of phrases, connections.
Yeah.
To your mind.
I did, yeah.
Great.
Oh, is my time up?
You got about 3-4 minutes if you want to.
Okay. What's the song everybody knows?
Sing your favorite.
My favorite. Oh my gosh. I heard somebody singing on a trail out camping. People walking along the beach with a grandchild, I think, a little kid singing, and all three of them were singing "Home on the Range." I knew that song before I knew what the words meant. That's how far back that goes. I won't make this thing back. Let's see. I'll just say how much I appreciate what you guys are doing. You know that I'm Kelly's partner, famous for that, I guess. And Mark, it's great that you got this up and moving again. This is great. And we got a very good group here, so I'm very happy with this. I wouldn't want it any different.
Thank you.
All right. Take a break, and hopefully our turtle will show up here pretty soon if we can go on for the next deal. Now, does Kelly do the open mic for Silverton still?
Yeah, she has it on Zoom. Yeah, and you know, it'll probably it'll be in person, but there'll probably be an element of Zoom now because like she has somebody from Seattle, somebody from Arizona on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If people are willing to join teaching readers, for example, if they don't have to drive someplace, or if they can. I mean, you had those two in from Vermont.
We had a lady last week. We had a lady from Colorado and a fellow from New Jersey.
And you don't really know where they're from.
That's what they said that they were from.
Yeah,
Who knows what they were actually from?
to be accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah. So in a way, Zoom is catching more people.
Yeah. And yeah, they could be from anywhere, but I think that's what they were from. Right.
So when does the Salem Poetry Project take the summer normal vacation?
Oh well, usually we wouldn't. We just get like we get a substitute host or whatever. But because
really?
the Zoom is on my account, it's very difficult to do it if the person organizing it doesn't get it going.
Well, you can get it going from anywhere.
Well,
give
you
up
need
your
the internet.
vacation.
You need the internet in order to
You
do
can
that.
do it from your son's, with Georgia?
With an Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
My daughter, who's all over this stuff, teaches yoga. And she was saying, "You're having a boomer conversation right now."
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I have to go. That's okay.
The problem with they're trying to do like a hybrid event with like live and Zoom at the same time. Is that if you're like, let's say we were able to get back into or some other indoor place, right? You'd have to be able to simultaneously have those people that are on Zoom, I guess, be projected or something.
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know.
They could bring their laptop.
You work on it this summer, and let's not go back to iCloud during the summer.
Oh no, not gonna be. because they're closed at 7.
And they're hot.
And it's hot.
It's pretty warm in there.
Seemed like every Thursday, a couple years ago, it
Yeah.
was 90 something. It was the hottest day of the week. Was always
You know, I looked at the music they have at the parks during the summer and this setting. This is a nice setting.
Yeah.
Summer evening.
Well, we had that one day that it was. So we were at the Ike Box, and the main room was taken by an event. They sent us upstairs, and it was like 100 degrees in that room.
Right.
And Sherry Levine was like, I can't do it. And so we had to like scramble a little bit. And we ended up outside on the porch.
Yes.
Right.
It worked out okay. But it was also kind of like, that was July, and probably,
It was
once you got,
later than that.
when you got to August,
Yeah.
when you got to late August, it was like,
Yeah.
it was going to be too dark.
Because I remember a couple of weeks later, we tried it again, and it was too dark. So we were swiftly losing daylight. Yeah.
We could bring flashlights.
That's right.
That's how much people love the porch.
Hey, yeah.
It was nice out there. There were buses going by every couple seconds.
Buses were-
I thought about, so there's an amphitheater outside of Lodge by the place. But it's also kind of loud over there. So I was
Oh,
looking-
that's right. Yeah.
There's one that's never been used in Jefferson. Brand new.
I don't know, in Jefferson.
I don't think it's set up.
There's one under shady trees in Kaiser, or the Rapids Park.
So I've contacted them before.
Oh, yeah.
They said, no.
No, I couldn't get a hold
Well, there's a lot of ungone people there. Sorry. Not a very good.
They're great it out.
You can't tell what is a guy
Exactly.
or not again.
Well, I happen to know, I go to this church, and so I know that the stage is sitting here. And I said, hey, ladies at the free, they said, sure.
Hey, they gave him a key, so they must trust him.
Well,
He does watch.
usually it costs money to borrow the tax for community hall. It's not a ton of money, but you have to get on the schedule. And so that one usually costs money. And the stage is sitting here, and they're going to start putting on like community events and stuff. So they're doing like a music night once a week.
Translated. Man, he's got some
Yeah, that's right. I'm hoping to see it pretty soon. It's just about 3 minutes. Yeah, he's supposed to.
He would never. He could. Now he's
Oh, it's nervous.
well, my brother-in-law called and asked me to come for dinner. And I said, you're not at the same project. So probably not. Well, I was just wondering.
Oh.
Way to keep it moving, Mark.
That's right. Gotta keep this thing going. But this, no, it's on. It's going.
Oh,
There'll be a little break between
and it's live streaming.
the live stream. There's no editing.
So there's nobody watching.
Yeah.
You haven't got a phone call yet. Hey, what's going on?
Well, maybe we have. Maybe we.
Well, there've been two dogs going by. Two dogs going.
Well, we have this.
Bob,
We have this other tool that
I know.
we started using for like a team or two of like deal hunters.
I mean, there were hundreds of people. That's why I said, you have to bring in your sound equipment because it would be kind of hard. Yeah.
So, yeah, they have like a tournament.
So what's the schedule for the rest of the day?
All right. So the schedule for the rest of the day is at 11:30. We're supposed to have Arturo. So then at noon, if somebody brought something for an open mic, have that opportunity. Then at 1 o'clock, we're gonna have David Jeffers, if you know David, and then at 1:30, we're gonna have Doug Stone. At 2 o'clock, we're gonna have the Mary Clarkster. At 2:30, it's gonna be Carol Tuttle and Amalie.
I thought we were.
You're at 2:30. At 3 o'clock, we have Clem Stark.
Oh, you.
No, no, 2:30. Yeah, and then at 3 o'clock is going to be Clem Stark, and then 3:30 is going to be me. That's the
Well, then we can all
sure. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Well, I'm gonna go get lunch.
Just BB and the live stream. Just the two of us.
after our tour.
Well, he's not here. Arturo!
I don't have his phone number.
I have it. I can ask Where are you? We're waiting for you.
I told him the right thing.
Yeah, you're right.
That would be good.
Maybe he's like Amalie, doesn't know what time she's reading.
Yeah.
I told him.
That's true. Look at that.
Have you ever read Why the Chicken Crossed the Road by Boone Slider? If you can find it, it's wisdom teachings from Bebop to Buddha to Mother Goose.
It's a book,
Yes,
Slider.
Sluyer.
Okay.
He's a Buddhist teacher and literature teacher. Anyway, it was written about 20 some years ago. It's funny and very enlightening. Or maybe it's enlightening to teach you. So he takes things like home on the range and then takes it and say it's funny. So pretty
Clark, why don't you read the phone?
I have a couple phones, but they're like I didn't bring an extra.
Pero, te paso, Mark.
Oh, I decided it wasn't
He's
good.
having a, an issue.
Hello?
Oh.
And someone died from a farm worker who died from
Oh, yes.
and they're doing a vigil or like, all the states are
Good one.
He works the radio thing?
Yeah,
He's the director of Radio Poder.
Really?
He's Spanish radio station.
he has a regular program.
And he's the director. He's running it. Very good.
Okay. Well, thanks, Arjo. Thanks for getting back. I appreciate it. All right. Sure. Okay. Thanks, Arjo.
Did you get up good? Good to see you.
See on air.
I did not get to- Okay. Okay, so it looks like Arturo can't make it. We have an opportunity for an open mic. If anyone brought anything that they want to read, you've got the stage for as long as you like. Otherwise, we'll have to come back at 1 for David. So let's kind of leave it at that for a little bit. Yeah? You were giving me a look like I have an announcement.
You said if anybody has something.
If anybody, yeah,
Did you ever know me not to bring it?
if you bought extra, Emily, the stage is yours.
So do I have to put the age
Or you can stay down there,
on it?
whichever way you like.
Probably easier to do it
Standing up, wherever you like. Okay, there's some steps back there. Hmm.
I always have stuff.
All right.
I always have.
Since I have an introduction for Amalie, we'll go ahead and read it. Amalie Rush Hill, poet, novelist, and artist, has written 4 science fiction novels in the Ambrosia series. Ambolasia series.
There's one.
There you go. Ambolasia. Ambolasia, Into the Light, Discontinuity, The Shoals of Time, and is that Tazor? Zator. Her first book of poetry is The House on Prune Alley, and her poems appear in the anthologies Moments Before Midnight, Terra Incognita, and Enough Say Their Names. Amalie has discovered that studying diverse fields such as wisdom teachings alongside quantum physics is a good way to open and stimulate the mind. A member of the OPA and Mid-Valley Poetry Society, Amalie is a regular participant in open mics, particularly the weekly Salem Poetry Project and Salem Book Bin, as well as other events. But here is Amalie.
Thank you, Mark. I didn't expect an introduction from you.
There you go.
Okay. Yes, I always bring extra because you never know. It's all one thing. I realize now that there is only one subject, one theme, one thing to write about after having written 1 million or so words of prose and poetry. There's only one thing to draw and paint, only one structure, one sculpture, one symphony, one dance. All the poet or writer, artist or composer ever did was to try to translate into stone or paint or word or harmony what it means to be alive, to be human, to be aware, to strive to understand, to communicate with other life, and to reveal one's singular point of view, to touch another heart and mind, to expound on meanings, to ask questions of the universe, and to even expect answers, and then to transcend it all. I just finished a book by Walter Isaacson about Einstein and his life. And it's like,
Oh,
it was wonderful. I loved it. I read it in about a week because, anyway, this one's called Einstein's Boat. Clouds seem anchored in one spot until they're off, gliding across the blue, sails billowing into the wind like Einstein's boat, the Tanif, a Yiddish word meaning a piece of junk, that he let drift on bay or lake according to the waves, the tide or breeze, just as he lived his life, with an idea in mind but without a solution, only a mental picture of space-time or of writing on a beam of light. He strove to find meaning in the chaos of nature and some semblance of order, even if there was none. His only error was to try to explain it all, to make sense of what is not ours to comprehend, to find one theory to describe the inexplicable. Oh, here's one this one's fairly new. So much alike, and it has an epigram from D.H. Lawrence, Whales Weep Not. They say the sea is cold, but the sea cap contains the hottest blood of all, the wildest, the most urgent. The ancient chimpanzee dozed near death, but when her first handler came and spoke to her, she lifted her head to look upon him. When she realized who it was, someone dear to her, a trusted friend, she grinned a toothless grin and patted his face as he stroked her arm. She hugged him until she could do no more and laid back down to sleep. The young orangutan watched the man do simple magic tricks, then realized that his handler had pranked him. He fell backwards laughing, a sound just like a human laughter, deep and full of joy. It was impossible not to laugh with him because we were in on the joke too. Jojo, a mixed breed shepherd, usually ignored me unless she was guarding. But that evening, as I read my poetry, something occasionally requested by my elderly mother-in-law, Jojo came and sat at my side. Eventually, she laid her head on my arm and closed her eyes while I read. She seemed to enjoy the sound of my voice or was perhaps inspired by my words. But whatever the reason, she was soothed and calm. How many ways are we alike? Aren't the things that unite us with other species and even with our own more important than the perceived differences that we believe separate us? Can't all animals feel good vibes and intentions? Aren't we all linked by living on this planet, all cousins, all related as a family in some way, close or distant, as much a part of each other as we are with this world? Thank you. I saw videos of the chimpanzee and the orangutan, and it was amazing, both of them. So I had to write about it. So, fumble. This one's a little different. Whispers of the night. Silken ribbons of starlight wrap me in moonlight, whose shimmers hold me in an ardent embrace. Sunlight bereft of tenderness is too bright to gently touch and too eager to demystify. Night is the chariot of intimacy, bringer of mystery and secrets of passion and love. Can you hear it calling to you? Do you feel how it seeks to bond with you, its breath warming your yearning neck? I open to the rapture of capturing that heartfelt craving to own the senses impeded by the daylight. Silken ribbons of starlight wrap me in soft caresses as moonlight warms and enfolds me as I am overcome with desire. Just tell me when to stop.
You got like 5-10 more minutes.
Oh gosh. Gee. And did I think to bring lots of stuff? Okay. Okay. It's not too hard to tell what this one's about. Smoke and rage. The heart and mind did quail at dawn without a trace of light. No stars, no moon, not even clouds to reflect the slight ground's light. The clock declared the sun's rise, but no sun was there to show a spark of light. It was more like waking in a tomb, a grave far underground without any beam of light. Toward midday came a brightening that scattered ashy clods away, revealing light, but not the usual welcoming of any morning. It was as though the sky did bleed, as red, as hot, as cruel a sight. That bloody light was air given to those arisen from internment into a day that Phoebus failed to bring new light. The fires spread, the fires raged, consuming tree and road. The smoke and ash smothered everything, even morning's light. You all that day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Tendrils. Tendrils, tender roots and cilia, delicate things reaching out to light and soil, to sky and air, wisps of smoke and steam rising upward. Tendrils of feelings, of necessary things to understand, physical senses and faculties, sensory input to live in the world and perceive what seems to be here. Tendrils of love and caring, tenderness and affection for life and living things, for what moves and breathes and has its time in the sun. Tendrils of faith and knowing, of intuiting more than anyone can ever know from a book or lesson, things untouched by hand, instead caressed by mind and heart. Tendrils of light, of waves, of photons and particles, too small to be discerned or to be comprehended by eyes, too tiny to believe in or to imagine. Tendrils of universes around and within, bubbles of things beyond comprehension, too small to see with my physical eyes, but my mind, oh yes, and my heart sees more and dreams still more. Tendrils from the emptiness of atoms and particles, too small to glimpse where the life of everything exists, where dreams are found at the quantum level, where thinking is, in the infinitesimal, at that level where there is magic and creation, the space where everything is one thing, undifferentiated, one movement, one knowing, one choice, one tendril reaching out to the all and everything for understanding and awareness and energy for life. Okay. I will do one more. Dragon Vengeance. Bent and tortured into shapes that only dragon fire could have melted, burnt and twisted leftovers, fragments of lives, of cities, of a time before the end. But why a dragon? What else could achieve this level of destruction? Surely mere mortals would not break apart their own world, spread it open across meadow or mountain, leaving it to die, wreckage strewn across the land without regard to tree or leaf, to bee or bird. Only dragon fury could do that, something immortal. Fierce divine wrath wreaked upon the world of men, of green and lovely things, of butterflies and honey. I don't know how this is possible, but what other creature is able to inflict such torment save for dragon or man? Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Amalie. So we have an opportunity to do some of my mic readings if people brought material. Nita, did you bring any? You want to read some? Okay, come on up. So, a couple weeks ago, Nitsa was one of the featured readers at the Salem Art Association. They had an event behind the Bush Barn, which was nice. And you can find, I think, pieces of it online. So, yeah.
Can I do it here?
You can do it there, or you can do it up here, whichever way.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're closer here, right? What's sitting here?
You are.
Okay.
He was. He's
Oh,
not.
you're right. That's right. Oh. Well, both of you know me, right? So she didn't get an introduction.
Yeah,
Mark.
Mark.
This is not fair.
I have it written down.
You know about me.
That's right. Here's Nitsa.
Multi-talented.
Multi-talented.
Artist and poet.
Exactly. Artist and poet.
That's true.
Didn't you win the first prize and Arturo won second prize?
Yes, I got the first prize of the spring contest of the Oregon Poetry Association. Yeah, it was very soon, like 2020. Well, this is my most recent poem. Actually, I was the invited reader for the Salem Poetry project 2 weeks ago. I'm talking about dreams as a prompt, Gio. This is a poem I wrote. I'm a volunteer also for the Alzheimer's Association. And we had an event that it's called Writing Against the Darkness on the longest day on June, on the day of the solstice. And we met 6 poets and writers on Zoom. And we stayed all day writing. And we were connected since the dawn to the sunset on Zoom. Most of the time we were on our own, but like every 3 hours we connected and we say, hi, how are you doing? How much have you written? And everyone wrote whatever they wished. They were novelists and poets and different sorts of literature. And so I was just editing and looking at my poems and trying to order them and find that I didn't have earlier. But because it was related to the Alzheimer's, and I have been a very close volunteer for them, like the past 2 years, I came up with a poem that I had been like willing to write for a long time ago. and I couldn't write it. It was just, I was blocked probably because I couldn't deal with it. But it was based on a dream I had, and it was related to my mom. So um, after the writing against the darkness, the day after, I wrote it, and it said, "Oh my goodness, yes, that was what I needed." And it's called Other Ways of Knowing. I strangely sensed it before I knew it in my mind. She came into my dreams one night, her feet suspended in the air. She swiftly looked into my eyes, softly grabbed my hand, inviting me to fly, lifted me gently from the floor. Like leaves, we floated in an aerial stream through dull dense and pale, our path together to a place unknown. No words were coming from her mouth, only her gaze disclosing something worrisome. Unable to explain the nature of that path, we traveled slowly in zigzags. Gray tunnels appeared on the way, nothing else but narrow, empty space. With her other hand, she pointed at dead ends, a maze of many tunnels closed. The gray inside like a silent cloud before a storm. Her gaze somewhat disturbed, a journey she didn't want to make. Her truth just being revealed to me, with tender loving care like she always gave. This time confused. She whispered something in my ears, then looked intensely at my eyes once more. My mom, my friend, the one who gave me life. She let my hand go and disappeared. I felt an arrow pierced inside my heart, my harrowing breath whirling in the air. I woke up grieving with my cry, my inner pain coming into tears.
That's very nice.
So I had this dream, 1985, before my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And it was a prophetic dream. I have dreams have been centered, like a centerpiece in my life since I was a child. I remember dreams I had when I was 4 and 5 years old. I said, my goodness, how can I remember that? Even though I cannot remember other things, I remember those dreams. And I have had dreams always like they come with a message, beautiful messages or hard messages or terrible
I'm
messages.
jealous.
Like this.
I forget dreams quickly.
Uh-huh.
Do you dream in color or black and white?
Generally black and white and very rarely in color. Yes, but a lot of symbolisms. Yes, and I read, I have been reading about dreams a long time, for a long time, from young to other writers from the psychoanalytic perspective and symbolic perspective. It's Joseph Campbell also did a lot of important studies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had this other one.
Can I say something more?
Yes, of course, please.
My,
Oh, yes.
my mom turned 103 last week.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Turned
Wonderful.
away.
She turned 103 years
What a
old.
privilege.
Wow.
What a privilege.
Right, and I see her almost every day. I see her. But it's she doesn't have Alzheimer's, but she has memory loss, which is verbal memory. So trying to get some connection with what is, what are you thinking about, Mom? Nothing. So, but you brought up a couple things in the poem which are unparalleled with what I've been trying. It's very encouraging.
Yeah.
I dreamed about my mom. And she pink pajamas and matching pink rug with full stuff in it. And it would be just like her when she died. She had 2 drawers of PJs, one for summer and one for three of us divided them up. And it was still too many, so my sister-in-law divided extras and made quilted pillows. But in the dream we were hugging. It felt so good.
That's beautiful.
Chose the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I with my mother, you know,
She was 97.
frequently.
Technicolor.
So this other poem, let me see if I find it. No, I think I'm still working on this poem, but anyhow, I'll share it. For present moment, I usually meditate and sometimes take fair opportunity for thinking about that. And it's very simple. It says enjoy every moment. Close your eyes and smell the fragrance of the flower. Look up at the sky on a clear night and try to grab at least one shooting star. Tread the ground with your bare feet, feeling the freshness of the grass. Fly like goldfinches when seeing the smile of a child. Dreaming of a world without wars, hatred, or violence. Open the heart up to the unknown without fear of falling into the void. Search for a hidden treasure in the heart of our most beloved people. Honor the differences of the human spectrum and see its incandescent light. Share a piece of bread and a red wine, as it were our last supper together in this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitsa. So we're just doing like a little open mic right now, and did you bring anything?
I did.
Do you want to share it?
I'll do one, and actually it's one that I wrote for the song that you heard this morning. It's this is the prelude. It was at a different time in my life, so it's not as cheerful as the one I wrote this morning, but it's the same theme. Oh wait, I won't be able to do it on this. I did on my phone. I'll go sit over here. And my name is Elizabeth, or you can call me Liz, or Lizard, or Lizard, or Lilibet, or anything but Bet. I don't like that. But I'll call you. You can call me anything.
Can you move the mic down here?
I can.
Do you want me to stand up there? I can stand up there.
Yeah, there's a.
Only other
Well, I have a few poems published in anthology way back when. I'm fairly new. I've been writing poetry, but I don't normally share it, or I've not been, like I said, haven't really been published. But I'm getting ungone in that area of my life, so I'm ready to do that.
You can do it.
Thank you. So this one is called Yesterday I Smiled. And I longed for those carefree days I had as a youth in the Bronx, building sandcastles at Mermaid Beach and digging for clams with my toes until the tide slowly came back in for the night. I saw the buoy lights in Throg's Neck from the kitchen window and heard the forlorn foghorn calling the boats back to their places at the dock.
but some boats were just passing through. I spent my many lazy adolescent days hanging out with my friends. Rose's mom took us to see a Peter Lemongello concert at Lincoln Center. Afterwards, we went to McDonald's for dinner and watched the Three Stooges and Woody Woodpecker reruns in the second-story projector room. I recall strolls through Central Parks, starring in my brother's 8mm films throughout his short-lived career as a wannabe Beatle before there was MTV. Then the turbulent teenage years in Timbertown, when my worst problem was not having anything to wear. Falling asleep at the movies, on a date, or sneaking into R-rated films with my best friend who looked 17 or older. Or hiding in the trunk of another friend's Mustang to get into the drive-in. These were my favorite pastimes. Then there was the time we rollerbladed through Wendy's drive-thru for a milkshake at Lorraine's 16th birthday party. I remember how I couldn't wait to grow up. I look to these days now for comfort. From the daily strains and pressures of adult life, each day a new crisis is added to the pot. I imagine that one day it would all just boil over, the top, and extinguish the flame. At least there's hope for tomorrow. Today I thank God I'm alive. Yesterday I smiled.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Alex, did you bring anything you wanted to read? No, not today. Okay. Diane, did you want to read something? Oh, this will be a treat then.
Just got here.
That's right. Diane just got here. She's ready to go. Sure.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. We figured drive down from Portland and make it a day.
Good to see you.
Thank you. This is so new that it's not even out of my phone yet. For the boy who would water the crows. The crows stood in the backyard, cocking their heads so much, did they in their questioning way, without winged desire. For their wings were flattened against their brittle rib cages to shield out the heat, the heat, the heat. They had reached horrible highs that when red made us blanch in heated denial and sank us to new lows of grief for what we have done, for what we hide, that continues on in these hot nights, the nights that we do not sleep, the nights that do not keep the birds in their high nests, a high nest that we will never reach. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Anybody else? Bruce, did you bring anything, Bruce? Put you on the spot. No. You can give me one? Sure, come on over. Bruce also just arrived. There's stairs right here in the back.
I didn't bring any of my own poetry, so I'll give you the only poem I know by heart. Ogden Nash, exactly as he recited it. I think that I shall never see a billboard lovely as a tree. And if the billboards do not fall, I'll never see a tree at all.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. So I'll close the open mic part with the only poem that I've memorized, written by a good friend of mine. It was a haiku that he wrote to his future ex-wife when they were dating. And his haiku was, "If you still like me after I spilt your double cappuccino, good." So, so we got David Jeffers at 1 and more readers in the afternoon. So we'll take a break, eat some lunch, enjoy the afternoon. We couldn't ask for nicer weather. And I'm going to end the live stream and come back in the afternoon. All right.
Okay, if I just leave my hair.
Oh, you bet. Yeah. Yeah.
What about